For the longest time, the Soma Prime was the assault rifle to have. But things change in time. Is it still the case? Is the Soma Prime still the best assault rifle in the game? Well, we're about to find out. Hey guys, hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're gonna be diving deeper into a Mastery Rank 7 assault rifle, the Soma Prime. That being said, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually follow a more new player friendly approach, simply because I want anybody watching this video to understand how the weapon functions and how it should be built. So if you're a veteran of the game and already know most of the basics, then please have a little patience. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Soma Prime. First off, let's check out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and I'm gonna be taking roughly 30 meters away from the wall and start spraying. As you can see, the recoil isn't all that bad on the Soma, it barely moves around. However, the accuracy isn't anything to write home about. I put in the wall about 120 bullets, and as you can see, there are a few which are outside of the crosshairs, and this is only about 25-30 meters away from the target. However, we do have an outstanding fire rate. Let's jump into stats and see precisely what we're dealing with. I cannot believe, honestly, that this weapon is only MR7. It is a fantastic weapon. Mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if your Soma only has 30 out of 30, then jump into actions and plug in an Orokin Catalyst. The Orokin Catalyst can be found from alerts, invasions, or if you're lucky, from the daily sortie. Check it out after dev streams, usually that's when they show up. My weapon has been formatted a total of 3 times, and you're gonna have to format 3 times as well for the weapon builds I'm recommending you guys. Please keep in mind that the Soma Prime by default comes with 2 Madurai symbols. These usually are also called V symbols. Accuracy is 28.6, which is definitely good, but nothing over the top. Now this one will come down to personal preference, but with heavy caliber on, I am simply not comfortable using the weapon. There are too many bullets which land outside of the target, definitely kind of taken away from your DPS. Then again, on the other hand, you are firing a lot of bullets, so it's really gonna come down to you guys. I, however, do not feel comfortable with heavy caliber, so I'm not recommending it. Not for the Soma Prime, at least. Crit chance is 30% and a crit multiplier of 3.0, and this is where this weapon shines. You got a high crit chance with high crit multi. Fire rate 50.0 and a magazine of 200 together with a reload of 3.0. And this might mislead you. You might believe that the weapon is extremely ammo efficient, but in actuality, not really. 30 minutes in a survival such as Kuva and I went completely bone dry while actually looking out not to overspray my target. So carrier will be a must when it comes to longer missions. If you guys are just taking it 5, 15, 20 minutes, don't worry about it. You should be all good. Status chance, unfortunately, is only 10%, and this is one of the weak points of the Soma Prime. But as you will see, the weapon will perform admirably well even with this low status chance. The IPS or impact, puncture, and slash, fortunately for us, the highest is the slash amount, so this weapon is definitely a slasher, and we have 2 variations to the slash build, which I will showcase a bit later. So let's start slapping on some mods. As per usual, the first thing we should always do is look into damage. Serration is a must-have when it comes to heavy caliber, like I mentioned before. This is preference based. Slap it on, test it, see if you're comfortable with it. About 15 to 20 bullets from 30 meters away land off the target. I am simply not okay with that. Next, we're gonna look into crit chance and crit damage. Like I said, this is where this weapon shines. So point strike, 150% crit chance means a 75% crit chance just with point strike alone. That is truly remarkable. And when it comes to crit damage, of course, we're going to be slapping on Vital Sense with 120% extra crit damage, bringing up the multi to 6.6. And of course, as with all weapons, mandatory multi-shot. So we're going to slap on Split Chamber with 90% multi-shot and Vigilante armaments. Now, you get 60% additional multi-shot, which is not that big of a difference from the standard Split Chamber. And you also get that set bonus, 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. Now 5% is not a lot, but we are firing a lot of bullets with the Soma Prime and we do have a high crit chance, so definitely highly recommend Vigilante armaments. Next, we should be looking towards amplifying our damage with elemental damage, and from this point onward you gotta decide what kind of build are you going after. Do you want an elemental build or do you want a slash build? Of course, today we're gonna explore both options. First, an elemental build. So let's make some corrosive. We're gonna build corrosive because we are testing against Grenier. Now Grenier are heavily armored targets and they have 2 armor types. They either have ferrite armor, which is reserved usually for their more heavier units such as heavy gunner, and they also have alloy armor. Now alloy armor you will find on butchers, yes, the guys which are easy to kill, but you will also find them on bombards, so there is that to take into account. In any case, against Grenier, the toughest targets in Warframe, your best bet will be corrosive. The 90 mods which offer more damage, or the 60-60 mods which offer less damage but a good fair chunk of status chance. Now it is true that the status chance of the Soma by default is only 10%. We did pump it up to 23.2, but that is multi-shot status chance, so keep that one in mind. Even so, throughout testing, the 60-60 mods have constantly performed better, to a fault almost. So we're gonna go with high voltage for our electricity. Now this one can be farmed from the mission Na Elgar on the planet Eris. You gotta find all the secret caches, then upon extraction you will have about a 5% to get this one, or Shell Shock. Shell Shock is identical to this one, but it's only for shotguns. I got my electricity, so let's go into Toxin, and this one is gonna be Malignant for 60% Toxin and 60% status chance, farmable from Corrupted Vor in the Void. This one is only worth 10 to 15 plat on PC, no more than 15. This one is a bit more expensive, 40 to 50 plat currently, so there is that to take into account. The last mod slot, now this is what I like to call an option slot, and you can put a whole bunch of mods here, and I always encourage you to build the weapon to own personal playstyle. You guys like punch through, then shred and or prime shred will be the way to go. 30% fire rate, that's a huge DPS increase. Basically you're unloading that magazine size of 200 a whole lot faster, reducing your kill time. And of course punch through will mean you're gonna be able to take out entire rows of enemies with ease. When it comes to usability, I don't have much to say against the Soma Prime outside of ammo economy. But if you guys want the quote-unquote highest DPS solution, then I would recommend you further increase your elemental combo, depending on your circumstances. We got corrosive against Grenier, so going with Stormbringer or Infected Clip is going to be the way to go. I added Infected Clip, so my corrosive jumped up to 162.8. Now let's refresh how the status chance works with IPS. IPS, Impact, Puncture, and Slash has a 4 times bigger chance of proccing over elemental combos. So don't think of your Puncture as 31, think of it as 140 something, or 100 and 55 in the case of Slash. Your corrosive still is the highest with a setup such as this, so it will proc over Slash. So the order will be corrosive, Slash, Puncture, and Impact. It is worth keeping in mind because without this mod here, then your Slash has a higher chance of proccing over your corrosive. By all intents and purposes, your Puncture will be proccing over corrosive as well. We got our first build and we rambled on enough, so let's spawn in some targets and start shooting. These guys are level 120 Corrupted Heavy Gunner. Corrupted units have more health and armor than regular units, and we're simply going to go for headshots. And as you can see, the Soma Prime can definitely tear through these guys, but in how many bullets? What was that? 100 bullets. Not bad. Half a clip for a level 120 heavy gunner is definitely not bad. As you see, the more I apply status to the target, the more damage I'm doing with each and every bullet because they have lower armor. You are never in any danger of overstripping armor. There is such a thing, but the Soma Prime is definitely safe for it, mostly because of the low status chance, and this is a way to build elemental. If you want your weapon simply to kill the target outright, and you don't want to mess around with bleeds and all whatnot, then builds such as this will get you there. However, it is not, from my point of view, the best build. The best build for a Soma Prime would be to go into Slash, Hunter Munitions, and all that. Especially if you guys are interested in, how should I call this one? Endgame content, endurance runs. You guys want to hit level 400, 500 Eximus, then yeah, definitely go for a Hunter Munitions build. So why don't we do that next? I already have a Hunter Munitions build laid out for you guys, and this will be the bleed build. Or maybe I don't. Okay, very well. Mandatory mods. Serration, Split Chamber, Vigilante Armaments, Point Strike, and Vital Sense. And this is what I like to call mandatory mods, especially these four. Vigilante Armaments, we can talk about that a bit later. Next, of course, the overpowered mod, Hunter Munitions. And yes, the Soma Prime will work better with Hunter Munitions. So says a guy that honestly hates how overpowered this bloody mod is. What should we do next? Well, we should be looking towards amplifying once again with an elemental combo. When building a weapon for Slash, then it's a smart idea to build viral damage. What viral damage does is reduces the maximum health of a target by 50% for the duration of the debuff. So in a way, your slashes will be dealing double damage, and it's gonna work beautifully as long as the viral doesn't slip off the target. So let's build viral. That is the combination between cold and toxin. Which should we go for? Well, I gotta go into a bit of a detail here. Normally you would go for the 90 mods because you have no benefit from extra applications of the viral effect on your target like you have for corrosive. Each application of corrosive reduces the armor, yay. But for viral, you're not gonna reduce the maximum health of an enemy further than 50%, so go for the 90 mods, yes, more damage. Well, not really. In testing, the 60-60 mods constantly perform better, and there is a very good explanation for it. As you saw earlier, the Soma Prime is primarily a slash weapon. Even though the base status chance isn't that high, with the 60-60 mods, you're gonna be proccing more slashes than with the 90 mods. And overall, it proves just a little bit better DPS. So I'm gonna be recommending the 60-60 mods with one major exception. If you have Prime Cryo rounds maxed out, then it would be worth to go for the 90 mod, for the 90 Toxin mod, Infected Clip, and Prime Cryo rounds maxed out. If not, 60-60 mods, more slash, and it's as simple as that. We got our cold, so let's get our Toxin back like before. Malignant Force and Rhyme rounds is pretty inexpensive as well. We're talking about 10 to 15 plat from the trade chat, or you can just simply farm it. Now there's one additional benefit to using the 60-60 mods. My viral amount is only 93. That means that if I'm proccing something, slash has the highest chance to proc. So more slashes with the 60-60 mods. And of course we're gonna be respawning the exact same targets, level 120 corrupted heavy gunner. With a build such as this, what you wanna do is kinda hit a target at about 50% HP, 50 to 60%, then let the slashes do the magic. Look at all that slash on the target. Absolutely beautiful, and of course with the 60-60 mods I'm gonna be getting constant viral application on the target, and of course more slashes, and this is extremely effective, and this will be the build I'm gonna be recommending to you guys. Yes, it's over the elemental build, simply this one I believe works a bit better. And if you want to take it into endurance runs, I don't know, if you want to spend a couple of hours in a defense or a survival, this is the type of build you're gonna want to have. What is the point of staying 2 hours in a defense? Well, I haven't found that one yet, maybe EP, and that's about it. I do it from time to time. In any case, this is the build I'm recommending to you guys, and I have one more variation for it. You're not gonna like it though, because, well, it includes expensive mods, and I don't like to recommend expensive mods for my builds, but it is a bit more effective. We're gonna be dropping viral altogether, so remove Rhyme rounds and Malignant Force. Next, we're gonna further amplify our crit with Argon Scope. Currently still bloody expensive, around 200 plat on PC. On headshot, 145% crit chance while aiming for 9 seconds. As for our last mod, we're gonna be going for Bladed Rounds. This one is a lot more cheaper, we're talking 10 to 15 plat. On kill, 120% crit damage while aiming for 9 seconds. Basically what I did here is further increase my chance to get a slash through Hunter Munitions, because with Argon Scope my crit chance goes over 100%, so with each and every bullet that lands on the target I get that 30% chance from Hunter Munitions. And Bladed Rounds will increase the slash damage value, so more slashes and higher slashes. And we're gonna be testing it out like this so you can see the difference. Yes, this build is a bit more stronger. Not a lot more, but still a bit more stronger, and I thought I should present it to you guys. Of course, we're gonna have to kill a target first in order to get the benefit from Bladed Rounds, and I think that should do it for you. Look at all those slashes. You can already see the difference when it comes to the amount of slashes, and now you're gonna be able to tell the difference when it comes to the value of the slashes. Quite potent indeed. And if you have the money, not necessarily for Bladed Rounds, that one is not really all that expensive, but if you guys have the money for Argon Scope and you want to get the best out of your Soma, then by all means go for something like this. It is the most effective way to go. However, it does rely on kill effects, and realistically speaking, during a mission you're gonna be getting plenty of kills. I don't like on kill effects as a rule, but this is the highest DPS, so there is that to take into account. Look at the slash amount and all those slashes. Basically, it's a Christmas tree or a firework display, whatever you guys want to call it. When it comes to Rivens and the Soma Prime, probably this is the biggest drawback to the weapon, because the Riven disposition for the Soma Prime is only 1 out of 5, and as you might know, I do not recommend Rivens when it comes to Dispo 1 weapons. But of course, if you guys want to get the most you can out of the Soma Prime, try to chase down that ideal Riven. Crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot, something like that, and try to get a decent negative as well. Other than that, keep in mind that a build such as this also has the advantage that you're not relying on that bloody viral anymore. As you might know, if you're running builds like this, sometimes the viral simply slips off the target before it dies, then you have to reshoot it again and all whatnot, so there is that to take into account. And well, there's one more thing to do before we go. Pick up Lady Mirage Prime and max out our damage. And of course, Lady Mirage has a couple of buffs. First of all, Rifle Lamp. Rifle damage is increased by 27%. This is an aura, it's stackable, and of course the benefit will be granted to the entire party. One note though, if you guys know you're going up against Grenier, then corrosive projection will always be the better idea. However, Rifle Lamp will constantly offer its benefit regardless of the target. When it comes to arcanes, we got a selection of two. First of all, Arcane Acceleration. On critical hit, 20% chance for 60% fire rate to rifles for 6 seconds. Basically, this one is going to be all the time up because of the high crit chance we got. However, this does nuke your ammo efficiency, so look into Carrier together with Ammo Case to kind of counteract that. And our second arcane is going to be Arcane Rage. This one on headshot, 10% chance for 120% damage to rifles for 16 seconds, and of course the usual 1 arcane revive. Now, the Arcane Rage can be found from the third Eidolon down on Cetus and Arcane Acceleration from the second one. Currently on PC, Arcane Acceleration R3 is going for about 80 to 100 plat, and Arcane Rage is just a little bit more expensive. Now, let's see what we can do with a maxed out build. Simulate the exact same targets, pop Mirage's clones and her third ability for a massive 514% damage increase. And when you're running Warframe buffs this extreme, you can just tear through a target like that, or you can just hit a target just a couple of times. Look at that, and just look at the bleeds absolutely murder your targets. Bloody beautiful. Huge slash amounts thanks to Mirage's buffs, and of course you don't need to hit a target more than, I don't know, let's say 70%. I think that was roughly 70%, and as you can see, in just a couple of seconds later, it completely bled out. There's no question that the Soma Prime still is an absolute beast of a weapon, and I highly recommend it. Honestly, it's baffling that this thing is MR7. You're kidding me? This is still one of the best assault rifles in the game. Definitely an endgame weapon. Well, if you guys want to call it that, and I highly recommend it to just about anyone. That's gonna do it for this build guide. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you have any feedback for me or would like to request a specific weapon review, then by all means, leave it in the comment section down below. I can't promise you that it will be done by next time, but I will be reading through each and every comment. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.